Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Sunday social. This is Real Reds Talk. Me, myself, Sam, and Shreyas alongside me to discuss the current topics on the table. Ineos to make a massive decision on the future of Erik ten HAG next week, according to a lot of reports. We've got some news on Sofyan Amrabat and his future. I want to get the lads' thoughts on that. We've got some stuff about Kobbie Mainoo, potentially his contract after the transfer window, and we've got a little thing towards the end as well. I want to ask the lads about certain United players potentially going to the Euros, who deserves it, who's done well, and all that kind of good stuff. But before we get into that, lads, how are we feeling the day after? Because it's, in fact, sorry Sam, just
Shreyas,
yeah. Shreyas, talk to me, buddy, because me and Sam expressed our emotions after the game yesterday. How are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, it was a massive ginger ale night yesterday. After quite some time, I would say for the first time this season, I got the opportunity to do so, and the thing is, I just didn't expect it to turn out the way it did. Like, even if I saw United winning, I didn't expect it to be in a way where Ten Hag actually gets the better of Pep in practically almost all the departments. Even when Pep decided to switch up things in the second half, because the major concern I had, that I had in the second half was that Pep isn't going to waste time. He's going to bring on Alvarez. He's going to bring on Doku. They're going to be looking to actually, score the 2 goals within the first 15 minutes of the second half itself. But we were still able to avoid it. Amrabat and Wan-Bissaka did a terrific job actually doubling down on Doku on that side, and it was a very tough job as well because he was able to find a lot of spaces, but Amrabat did a fantastic job. Wan-Bissaka did a fantastic job as well. I think Bruno was immense in that game as well for the entire 90. The shift he put in as well was quite commendable, and overall for the first time, I actually saw the effort being put in from all of those 11 players on the pitch in this season. They looked to be on the same page, and it reminded me a lot of the game that we had at Old Trafford last year against City, where we won 2-1 as well. All of the players, all the 11 players on the same page, going for the kill and not missing out on opportunities whenever we got them as well. Because once again, City are not an easy side to beat. It's very difficult to track them. It is very difficult to maintain a lead against a team like City as well, because I would still say City are a tougher team when they go behind. They look to they become a very hard team to read once they go behind. So overall, Ten Hag did an incredible job. I think I just think that everyone wanted the season to just end, but no one expected it to end on this high. Because as far as the league was concerned, Champions League was concerned, it just didn't pan out in our direction in any of those competitions. But in that final, with considering the way we walked in as well, like this manager walked into that game pretty much with the entire news and atmosphere around him being that he's going to be sacked. This is his last game. He's not even going to be there. But now, the way things have turned around for him, there is still a sizable portion of the fan base that doesn't want him to leave at all. Like, they want, that Ten Hag to actually, stay at United, and it's going to be a very very tough call for Ineos to make now, because beating City in a final in the fashion that he did, it has changed his, the I would say, feeling around Erik ten Hag being a Manchester United manager. It's changed completely within the last 24 hours.
Yeah, and I think Ineos will be well aware of that as well. Like, you can't really base a decision off emotion. So that's why you've seen these reports that we're going to get into in a minute about, waiting a week or so and then making it, let the dust settle. Because if you did it now, I think there would be an uproar, legit. I think they would. I'm not talking like protests or anything, but I think it'd be quite a few fans voicing their concern. Yeah, Sam, I'm sure you've seen the article yourself, and everyone who's in the chat, we'll get into your comments in a moment, so keep getting your comments in and keep smashing that like button, and we'll get to them shortly. But yeah, the article, Sam, in itself from Ornstein and Whitwell about, United are going to start looking at what areas need to improve to increase performances on the pitch, including Erik ten Hag's willingness to evolve and then decide the best course of action. Sky Cave, who we all love.
Your favourite guy.
My favourite guy, yeah, that's the one. Saying Erik ten Hag wants his future at United cleared up as quickly as possible. Like all managers, he's made a few mistakes, but overall he believes he's done a very good job in extremely difficult circumstances. He's going on holiday with the feeling that he is the best man for the job. He wants a quick decision because he wants to be working and winning trophies at United or another club if he's not wanted, as you referenced before we went live. United will start a review of the season this week. No decision or action will happen before that review is complete. complete. I have a feeling, Sam, it won't go down very well if they do decide to get rid. Are you still of that opinion?
Yeah, like you said just previously then, I think they're right to do this, like to take the time, let the dust settle, let the emotion calm down, and do it from a point of view of like pure logic and pure, let's look at the results, let's look at the progression, let's look at things that have gone wrong, things you can improve upon, all that sort of stuff. Like, I don't know about you two, but like in the careers I've been in, I've had like annual reviews and 6-month reviews and stuff like that. And it's basically a way, it's like they'll give you a wage increase, maybe promotion, things like that. It's normal in any sort of job of life. But obviously when it comes to Football Manager, it's dire consequences, because if you haven't done well, you lose your job. Like there's no room to go, okay, we can do more of that next season. It's like, no, you're gone. So it's a bit more of a sort of final nail rather than a sort of review, as it were. But I think a lot of people are basing their stuff on emotion at the minute because of the FA Cup final win, which is fine, and absolutely I get it, because I'm the same way. Like I think I've always stuck to my guns and said Ten Hag deserves time, but then that, like, I probably wouldn't have got a bit giddy after the review and I was like, keep him, blah, blah, blah. But it's understandable because it's a historic win and we've not won many trophies over the last like 14, 15 years since Fergie left. So I get it, I really do. But I still do think he has something. However, with the points you mentioned, like his willingness to adapt and evolve his tactical flexibility, which we've not seen much of up until the very last part of the season. The injuries weren't his fault, so I think you could give him the W on that, because that's not his fault. And you have to look at the medical department and all that sort of stuff. You have to look at what's going on there, because they've clearly let him down this season. Because for example, the one incident with the left backs, we had Terrell last year out for the first part of the season. He had the surgery, then he had a setback, but then Ten Hag was told no, he's going to come back in January. Yeah. So you
Luke
can
was
get rid of
supposed to be back in December itself.
Yeah, and then so he's like, oh, I'll get rid of Reguilon and I'll let Alvaro go to Benfica. Yeah. And then everything fell apart, and then we ended up playing Amrabat at left back and God knows what else, and Lindelof and whatever. So I think that's not his fault. But the tactical flexibility, the control he has over transfers and stuff like that, I think that needs to be taken away quite substantially. Like, we cannot go into another summer where sort of people who run our transfer are going, Erik, get your phone book out, let's have a look, who else have you got in there that we can bring in? Like, we can't be doing that. Like, that's just can't be doing that going forward. So there's a couple of things where I think if he can acquiesce to it and just agree to those things, I think they could find a way to continue. But if he's not willing to do that, because we know he is stubborn and he is very hard-headed and he wants certain things, then it's probably his best to part, even if we feel as fans that he should stay. If it's not going to be a good working relationship and they're going to butt heads, then it's probably best that they part. So, yeah, not based on anything other than the progression that I see and the potential, I think he should stay. But obviously, if he can't agree to these things that are going to happen, then, yeah, maybe it's time to go.
Arguably one of the biggest decisions in the last decade, you would probably say, given the circumstances at the moment. I want to go to the legends in the chat because I want to see what everyone's saying. KC Mango Productions saying don't agree with it, but it seems like McKenna is highly likely given what James from Muppeteers has said. Got to accept it and back him, really. I don't think we have to accept it. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean, we'll have to in the sense of we don't get a choice.
Get behind the manager, but I think you get behind the manager no matter what.
The manager, yeah, of course. Yeah, I get that. Adam Saunders, much better yesterday, more compact, no way near as open, played beautiful football on the counter, but I think it's a little too late for Ten Hag. That's the only thing that a lot of people are saying in it. The fact that it's why didn't we see this 3, 4, 5, 6 months back, man? That's the huge question. The chat's flying at the minute. I'm trying to get through the comments. Tim99, the review sounds ominous for Ten Hag. Yeah, does done it, Tim. My Damned United, who is a Real Red Ultra member. We have got a members video dropping in the next 2 days for you guys, early access. So if you want to become a member, click the join button next to the notification bell and build that community. There's quite a few of you who joined recently, so I appreciate that. But My Damned United says, Ineos need to realise that United, it's not always about what someone might think is optimal. It's also about what is right and decent. The Glazers never got that. Time to show you're different, Ineos. Steve Whitaker saying, calm down. Okay. And Adam saying, yes, we've had injuries in defence, but surely then you make us more compact, harder to beat, not open, and let teams have a free reign. That I agree with Adam.
Yep.
Christopher Humphreys also says, let's hope United will not bring Erik ten Hag early from holidays just to stack the man. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, talk about fucking salt in the wound. Let that man, he deserves a holiday more than anyone. I said that on the afternoon show. Like, let that guy just go wherever the fuck he is. Let him go on a bike ride through the mountains and let him just cool off because he needs it for sure. Like us fans do in a sense. But on the flip side of things, Shreyas, how much of a risk is it if you go with, let's say, Kieran McKenna and that doesn't work out? People are going to look back to this moment, aren't they? And they're going to say, you fucked up. You fucked up. You had a manager there ready to go, you know?
Yeah, and it won't be the right impression as well because, once again, this is going to be a very, very important call to make. And if Ineos do get that wrong, it's not going to bode well with the fan base because already the fan base, I would say a majority of the fan base right now is favoring Erik ten Hag, at least for the moment they are. Maybe in a couple of weeks' time it might change, but there is still a sizable portion that wants ten Hag to stay. And considering the season we've had, considering, the amount of players that he's already got into this team, and especially certain youngsters in this team as well. If he goes with someone like McKenna, not saying that McKenna cannot do a good job here. If he does come in, I hope he does a good job, but it's not a certainty. It will be a big gamble, and I still think that, it's a big push from Ipswich to a club like United. I think there needs to be something in between, like Brighton or West Ham or whatever club in between, but he still needs that sort of experience in the Premier League. Probably, then he can push up to a club like Manchester United, but right now it is still way, way, way too soon. And right now, we need someone in that locker, we need someone in that dressing room who can command respect from these players and who can take charge of this locker room. McKenna cannot do that, with the kind of players that we've already got in our club right now. And I just think from a financial point of view as well, right now sacking Ten Hag won't really make as much sense. If they're going to be, completely ruthless and they want a complete fresh restructure and a completely fresh restart, then, go with a different manager, go with a different approach, and, then work your system accordingly to the new manager as well. But if they actually, want to, give him a chance, like at least give him till like a 4 or 6 month period at least, at least we can see that, whatever Ten Hag wants to implement, whatever he wants to do, can it actually work or not? Because once again, he's had to deal with a lot this season. Like genuinely, I don't think there's any other manager in the Premier League who's had a tougher time. Just looking into the club's directives, just looking into players, just looking into what, the atmosphere around the club as well, as difficult as Ten Hag has had this season. But yes, definitely, I think whatever decision they do make, I think right now sticking with Ten Hag is the safer bet. It's the safer option to go with because he's already got a bunch of his players already in. Maybe in the second window that does happen with a new structure and with the new people and right people in the right positions. Maybe we bring around different kind of players and they they settle into the team, and it will technically be his third window. So you can say that now Ten Hag probably has his entire 11, like an entire 11 just of Erik Ten Hag players. No players from the Mourinho era, no players from the Oli or Ragnick era, just completely a fresh batch of players that Ten Hag has brought in. And then if it doesn't work, then probably just pull the trigger and go that this isn't working out. We need to get someone else in and work our way from there. But I just think right now it's very, very tough because we are in a very delicate position right now. There is already a lot of changes being made at the club, and I think a call with manager, when it comes to changing your manager, it can completely derail your season if it doesn't work well from the start of the from the start of next season. The pressure is going to be building up around the manager. The media always has Manchester United as their prime targets already, so it's just going to be a big gamble, especially if they go with someone like McKenna. Maybe if they go with someone like a Tuchel or someone, it is still a lesser of a gamble because they have the experience to work with clubs of United stature. McKenna doesn't have that at the moment.
Well, also, there's kind of two red flags in my head, Sam, but when I'm looking at this some more, and I'm thinking, one, will these injuries continue? What are they going to do to sort that out? First and foremost, because if they continue next season, you might as well just fucking write it off the way it's gone. And then number two, forget about buying just players that we need. What about the players that are leaving? Because you're going to have to replace them. So Varane, Anthony Martial, Eriksen might leave. Like, all that, they're big concerns, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got to hope that the reasons there was a lot of youth. I know there was a lot of youth on the bench and involved in first team training because of the injuries. I understand that. However, you got to hope that somehow got them ready for some sort of first team action next season, so they can plug a couple of gaps in the system. Because we're not going to buy every position that we need this summer. Like, let's face it. Like, it doesn't operate like that. Like, we need second striker, a winger, probably 2 midfielders, 2 centre backs, a left back, and maybe a right back.
Like, we ain't a right back.
Yeah, we ain't getting all of that. Like, we aren't. Like, it's just not happening. So you've got to hope.
Practically, you need a fresh defence.
Yeah. So you got to hope.
£35 million budget.
Yeah. So you got to hope, like, people like Harry Amas, he's been in first team training since like September, October, I think. So you got to hope he's going to be the Kobbie Mainoo of next season. He's going to get minutes and time and in the preseason and stuff. So he could fill that. Is he a left back or a right back, Amas?
Left back.
Yeah. So hopefully he might be able to fill that gap, and then you can focus that money you were going to buy the left back. You could put that into another centre back, or you put it into a midfielder. So it's difficult, man. And another question is, we have to replace these players that are going out, and some of them are first-team players, like Varane is a first-team player, arguably. Casemiro has been a first-team player for most of the time he's been here. So you have to replace those first-team players, and then behind them, we've seen with the injuries, we don't have the squad depth.
You need bench strength as well, because players on the bench are leaving as well. Lindelof might be going out. Eriksen is definitely going out as well.
And they weren't good enough. So when like Casemiro came out, or Varane came out, or Alessandro came out, Johnny Evans, I think, was the only one who stepped up and played significantly better. Everybody else was hit and miss for the most part. So we need squad depth as well. So not only do you need to buy first-team players who can come in, start, ready to fucking hit the ground, you need people on the bench who are ready for their opportunity when it comes along and are able to play at an equal level, if not better, to keep the momentum going. Because you saw when Scott McTominay came in, or when Lissandro was out, you saw the drop. We fell through the floor. Yeah. And you can't have that. Like, City have got a squad built. Like, it doesn't matter who comes out. They're going to carry on winning. Arsenal are getting there as well. They're building a squad slowly that is becoming a title challenge squad, and they've got the depth. Chelsea have got about 400 players at this point, so I'm sure that'll continue on. So we have to do that, but it's just not going to happen with A, the FFP financial restrictions, B, we're not very good at selling, and the players that we could sell are on a massive wage, so who's going to buy them in the first place? It's so difficult this summer, man. It's so fucking difficult. So that's the one part of it. And then, like you said, with the injuries, we have to look at this medical department and this rehab department and find out what the fuck's going on. I'm not saying it's the doctors, I'm not saying it's the medical department. It could be the players. I know Lissandro was told off for diverting from his rehab plan, and that's why he ended up not getting back to where he needed to be.
I think Casemiro as well.
Casemiro as well.
Told, consulted differently.
Varane too.
I think Varane may do. Malacia went to his own doctor originally to get surgery, and that's
there's
something's going on here where the players don't trust what our medical department is telling them, or the medical department is telling them the wrong advice, and they're going, nah, fuck this is going to hurt. I'm going to go to my own person. So whatever's going on there needs sorting, and then you also need to squad management and stuff like that. So I don't envy Ineos at this point. There's so much shit to sort, and on top of that, stadium, new training ground, possibly update the training ground,
area around it as well.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount to ask for, and there's still going to be people on the internet going, "He's not even done anything. He promised this. He's not even done anything." And it's been not even a year, and you're just you know how long this shit takes. It takes time, man. It takes time.
Yeah. For sure. We're going to get onto individual players in a moment, but I do want to hear everyone else's thoughts on that. I will get into the comments, I promise, in a moment, but I really, really want to talk about Sofyan Amrabat, because it's a very interesting prospect, Shreyas. You had a season where he didn't really play. First came in, first couple of games was at left back, and then he was in and out of the squad. The majority of people, including myself at a certain point, I'm not going to lie, I was first class, back to Fiorentina, wash our hands with it. It hasn't worked out, that's fair enough. But Arsenal, very good. Newcastle, very good. Fucking Paul Scholes yesterday called him the prime Gattuso. in that game. So he was like a prime Gattuso, and that is a huge praise. He also mentioned about Kobbie as well, but I'll get onto that a little bit later. And he got asked about his future, Shreyas. He said, for me, staying at Manchester United is certainly an option. We're going to talk. Man United are the biggest club in the world, so who wouldn't want to play football here? He certainly given us something to think about, Annie, in the past couple of games.
The thing is, we need bench strength. We genuinely need bench strength.
Yeah,
and as a squad option, you know, he's only going to be worth around 12 or 13 million as well right now. He's not going to be worth more than that. So for 12 or 13 million, getting someone like Amrabat in, you know, I think it's going to be a decent option to have, because going into a game, I think he offers much more as a 6 than what McTominay could offer us. And by the looks of it, it looks quite certain that Casemiro will be on his way out next season. So you're going to need a lot of options to, you know, to have at your disposal in that 6 area. And in the big games that he's featured in, you know, at the end of the season, he has played quite well. Against City, he was quite well. And the thing is, City tried to overcrowd him a lot in that game. You know, Haaland, Doku, Alvarez tried to make a triangle around him. De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and Rodri tried to do it around him, but he was able to, you know, come out of it flawlessly. So the thing with Amrabat is the skill is there. You know, there is a lot of ability, technical ability as well in him. The problem has been that throughout the course of the season, he's not got a consistent run of games in that 6th position. He's been fluctuated around the midfield. He's been fluctuated around the defensive line as well, because he's just never had that 5 to 6 game of consistent run playing, you know, starting games as a 6, which we, you know, initially expected the, you know, Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno to initially be the starting midfield for us, you know, once everyone is fit, but it didn't really happen. So when he has got the opportunity, he has taken it and grabbed it with both hands. So I would still say I'm not still convinced whether he's as good enough to be a starting player for us, but definitely, you know, as a bench option, like, you know, the kind of job Eriksen did for us, come in for like 20 to 30 minutes, just see out and close out the games. I think Amrabat is a very decent option to have, especially for the price that is being quoted around 12 or 13 million. You know, I think it's a very decent buy to have.
Yeah. Sam, you was quite literally just talking about depth and how important that is. Like Shreyas says there, 13 million quid. One, has he shown enough? And even if he hasn't been amazing, like you said, like, we need them kind of players to come in the squad and just fill it out, don't we? Regardless.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out on Amrabat, because me and you, Nick, particularly, before when we were trying to sign him, we were like, this guy's good. Like, we've seen him play for Morocco, Fiorentina, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then obviously it didn't work out, but there's mitigating circumstances. So before we got him, he didn't have a pre-season with Fiorentina, like, at all. Like, had 0 games, didn't play anything, didn't go on pre-season with him. Was then injured when he came in, and I think he was playing injured at left back, out of position for the most part. And people are like, oh, he's washed, it's just like, you have to look at the circumstances around it. He then got another injury, I think, and he was out of the squad for a bit. And when he came back in, they put him in like the 8th position, and Scott McTominay was in the 6th, or Casemiro was in the 6th, and he's just like,
Eriksen.
Eriksen, shockingly. It's like, that's not... It's not his most effective. He can play there, but it's not his most effective position. You saw like missed stray passes and sloppy on the ball, and you're like, oh, this guy, man. As soon as he got some minutes under his belt and some fitness underneath him, and you put him in the 6, you see what he's about, man. You see what he's about. He's great. He's a fantastic tackler. He breaks up play. He interrupts rhythms and stuff like that. He's got a good pass on him as well at times. He fights for every ball. He's got the right attitude and stuff. Like, I like him a lot. And I think, like Shreyas said, if you can negotiate that 13, 12 minutes and down like 10 or under, that's a great bench option, man. It's a great bench option. Say you're playing against like a Southampton or Burnley or something like that. It's Amrabat in there to sit, and then you can have 2 more advanced 8s or 10s just pushing forward, and he can just sit there and do that. Or when you, like Shreyas said, say you're 2-3-0 up, all right, we need someone to come shut this down now. Bring him on, double DM pivot with Kobbie, and you can just see the game out. Yeah. We've not had that. It's like Casemiro or Scott McTominay, and it's like very 2 different options, and neither one of them want to defend all the time. So I think you could do a lot worse, and it saves money. I don't imagine he's on a massive wage either, to be honest with you. It saves money to go invest in other areas. I would get Amrabat, and then I'd go out and put a big wad of cash down on like a Zubimendi or a Hjulmand from Sporting Lisbon and spend your money on that. That's where I would go, because you'd have Casemiro's wages off the books, probably. Eriksen wages off the books. Kobbie Mainoo, Bruno, Amrabat, Mount, and then Humland. I think that's a very good midfield. Like, I think you're really, really good there. So that's what I would go with. But it might be a little too late for him. I think had he shown this early in the season, we might be having a different conversation. But I think it's probably too late in terms of United's eyes.
Just before we move on to the Kobbie Mainoo discussion, can I don't know if you're able to put this on the screen, Sam. This is my shout, right? I'm absolutely taking this. Tell me or not if Amrabat does not look like the evil guy off the Mummy. It is a fucking spitting image.
Oh,
Imhotep. It's a spitting image.
Imhotep.
Is that his name, Imhotep?
Yeah, Imhotep.
Right, so everyone in the chat, let me know the comparison. Bang on, yes or no out of 10. It's got to be a strong 8 out of 10. Because he just, every time I see him on the pitch, he just reminds me of that guy, man.
I wish if I had time, I would Photoshop
his head
a United top on him. There we go.
We'll work on that in the meantime. But anyone who's seen the Mummy, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The
I remember a picture with the eagle on that hand.
Yeah.
It looked exactly like it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's got like a stunt double or whatever. No idea. Maybe Amrabat was do that because he's a bit mad. But yeah, looks an absolute spitting image of him in my opinion. And I just wanted to get that out there. But let me know your thoughts on that. Anyway, we'll move on to conversation. Excuse me. Make sure you smash like on the video for us, by the way, if you haven't done already, and hit that subscribe button. We're on 5,126, and there's quite a few of you in the chat. So if you haven't subscribed already, then please do. Kobbie Mainoo, lads. Shreyas, United are likely to wait until after the summer transfer window before nailing down an improved contract for Kobbie Mainoo. United plan to reward Mainoo with a new deal to reflect his growing standard and importance in the team. Kobbie Mainoo's camp are thought to be relaxed about the situation and placing no great pressure on the club, with relations strong between both parties. Goes without saying, really, this is going to be mega important to do for the future, innit?
Yeah. Tie him down for the next 10 years. You've got a midfielder, and you've got a midfielder there who can genuinely be there for the next decade. And if you look at him, you've got a midfield where Mainoo is playing. You've got a midfield where Casemiro has been playing, Amrabat has been playing, Bruno has been playing, and you can never say that he is an 18-year-old youngster in that midfield. With the calmness that he plays, with the with the way he's just able to direct himself around the ball, especially against the big teams like City as well. City yesterday, and apart from that, the game against Liverpool as well. The way he just completely dictated that midfield. If you just take out the jerseys, take out the names, and just look at him playing, you'll easily say he's a 27 or a 28-year-old playing on that field with the way he plays. And I'm not seeing this kind of a player at United for quite some time. With the way he controls the game, with the way he plays in that midfield, can slot in as a 6 as well, and as an 8 as well. We've seen the kind of goals that that he scored for us this season, crucial goals as well. And moving into next season, I think if we get the right partner for him in that double pivot, I think Mainoo can be even more destructive. I think because you've already got a creative outlet in Bruno in that midfield, who takes care of a lot of leg work and a lot of pressing as well in that midfield. But the moment you get in someone, like a physical destroyer who is able to spread the ball around, because I think Mainoo is someone who is able to drive the ball forward quite well. And especially at his age, he drives the ball forward I can't compare him to certain midfielders in the Premier League right now. That's how good he is. So get a person like Onana from Everton, or someone who is able to have that physical capacity in him alongside Mainoo. I would genuinely say his output can go 10 times higher in that midfield. And it's been a breakout season for him, and I'm just gutted that he wasn't there in the first half of the season. Like, if he wasn't injured in the first half of the season, he would have easily been player of the season for us, hands down.
Yeah, 1,000,000% agree with that. And you look at his first few games, I know we've been through it before, but Everton, Galatasaray, fucking Anfield, the goals he scored, Wolves, Liverpool, the goal yesterday, like, for a 19-year-old kid, man, it is mad. I wanted to add on to that as well. Is him starting in the Euros too much too soon, or do you think he's ready for it?
No, absolutely not. I think this kid nothing phases this guy, as you've seen. Like, nothing phases him. Like, he is. Yeah. He plays against the likes of Real Madrid.
You can handle Anfield, you can handle anything.
Yeah, like, he went to Anfield away and didn't look out of place. He went against Arsenal and looked like a better midfielder than Declan Rice, who cost 100 million times more than he did. Like, this kid doesn't phase anything. Like, even in his interviews, when you see him speak, they'll ask a question, he'll just be like, yeah, it's fine. And he's just not asked. Like, he's not asked at all. Paul Scholes, I don't know if you're going to read the quote out, Nick, the Paul Scholes quote that he said about Kobbie.
Yeah, about the... go on, you say it. You go for it.
Somebody asked him, like, he said, the comparisons between him at 19 and Kobbie Mainoo, he said, it's not even close. Like, this kid is far better than I ever was at 19. That's Paul Scholes saying that, by the way. It's Paul Scholes, the guy that Iniesta, Zidane have said he's the only guy that would make it into their team when they were in their primes. Paul Scholes, by the way, one of the best midfielders ever. So, I think if that praise comes from that sort of level, you know how good this kid is. And the fact that he got called up for England in his debut season when he hadn't even played a full season yet at 18 is insane. Like, and he wouldn't be out of place, would he? Like, you look at that midfield, Declan Rice, Kobbie Mainoo, and Jude Bellingham. That's a fucking incredible midfield, man. Incredible midfield.
The amount of shit I was getting when I did that clip on TikTok about Mainoo starting with Rice and Bellingham, and you're moving Foden out of position onto the left.
He don't play. Anywhere. Foden. Where's Foden been at his best this season? On the right.
He played he can play everywhere. Like the kid can play everywhere.
For City, he started like, you know what Pep's like. He's not consistent with picking anybody, is he? Like, everybody gets dropped. Foden has played every single game on the right hand side. That's where he's played. It's like that's his best position.
Yeah, it's for me that midfield, Mainoo, Rice, and Bellingham. It has to be that, and then Saka, Foden, and Kane as your front three. They've got to go and win something for sure. I'm going to go to the comment section. Vigard saying, "Great work, guys. Watching from Norway. Still snowy here. That is my climate, mate. I wish it was snowy here because I prefer that kind of weather. I'm a bit of a weirdo in that sense." Yeah,
Shreyas, have you ever seen snow, Shreyas, in your life?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What was it like?
India.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go up to the Himalayas? Is that where you went?
Right. So, but you've never seen it like when it's just
never in Delhi. Like, it's never snowed in Delhi.
No, never. It's 48 degrees out right now.
Oh my god.
48.
Yeah.
That is outrageous.
No sign of snow here right now.
Rajat says he won't go to Arsenal. Lucky. I don't know who he's on about. It may backfire if they sack Ten Hag. Could get worse, to be honest. Yeah, I can see that as well. My Damned United says the irony is if they sack Erik Ten Hag for a project in Kieran McKenna, then they're demonstrating they're not prepared to see one through. Should have been a no-brainer to give him his final year. Another intelligent point. Nardi Sola says 400 spent, finishing 8th with a minus goal difference, crashed out of the Champions League group stage. One good cup run shouldn't be enough to keep you in the job. So a slightly different perspective there from Nardi. Grace Sheridan saying, what about Oguine, the right back? He looks promising, but I don't think any of us have seen enough of him, have we, this season? More so in the youth setup. Nikesh says Ten Hag has always deserved the chance. It's the structure which he had around him costing the season, so Jim should reconsider before they sack him. Will Greenwood, Anthony or Sancho leave? Do not know. I think 2 out of 3 would probably leave out of them. I think
it's possible. If Ten Hag goes, then you could see Anthony going as well on top of that.
Oh, for sure.
Didn't Ten Hag have 17, 18 different centre-back pairings? Yeah.
Yep.
Sancho Mason should go. Might have to keep Anthony and hope for a value increasing event next season.
Good luck
so
with
many
that.
comments to get through. Sorry.
What's he going to do? Turn around and score 30 goals? Like, come on.
Yeah. Tahir Nanavat says Amrabat isn't even at peak condition. Barely had any minutes. Yeah. We touched on that. Like, he hasn't had a run of consistent games, and I think that's been an argument for quite a lot of the players, to be fair. Tim saying bit worried that Kobbie needs a rest though, could affect the start of next season. Yeah, I don't know because he only came in halfway through this season. I'm not as worried. Had he played like Shreyas touched on through the majority, then I'd be like, yeah, maybe just rest him. Southgate will still fuck it up. Go on.
Like, again, like, it's a good point, but however, 18, 19-year-old kids should not be playing the amount of games that him and Garnacho are playing right now. Yeah. Like, that shouldn't be happening.
Garnacho was absolutely rinsed by the end of the season.
Yeah, he's fucking done.
Whenever he was playing,
It's like, they should be playing that amount of games. So if we had good squad depth, he wouldn't be knackered because he'd be like, all right, Kobbie's played 5 games in a row here. Let's take him out for 2 games. Let's play this guy. Like, that's how squad management. But we've just not had it because of the injuries. So,
yeah. So for the last 10 minutes, lads, what I want to do is I want to go through the United squad, the main players, really, and I want to say who you think should go to the Euro. So obviously there's a couple that aren't going to be going because, you know, some are from Africa or some are from South America, etc.
Yeah, Lisandro should go.
Lisandro should go. Just play for any. As like a wild card. If someone needs
England.
a defender.
Him and Johnston.
Shove Kyle Walker off the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck him. He pissed me off yesterday. Honestly, that game is winding me up. So yeah, obviously Andre Onana is null and void because African Cameroon is not.
I mean, he doesn't want to play for Cameroon either, does he? Because he fell out with it.
So that's an own kind of podcast in itself. Diego Dalot, I mean, he's no.
He's gonna go.
He's going for sure, and he's starting.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic season. Wan-Bissaka, we know the situation with the right backs at England.
Won't go.
It's Trent. I can't think. Ben White would have gone if he was available. Trippier, Walker, Reece James if he was available. They've got too many right backs. Do you think Varane? I wanted to ask you this as well. Do you think Varane retired too early? I know he has problems with injuries and stuff, but you look at the Euros now. Do you think he might be sat there thinking, could have gone, maybe?
I think for him, the decision was too much games.
Yeah,
that was the major decision that led him to it. But if he's fit, once again, he is a nightmare for any attacker whenever he's fit.
He spoke about concussions a lot. He said he's had far too many concussions, and I think he just wants to go out in peace and just retire. I just think he wants to be done with it.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you don't hear a lot of talk about concussions in football necessarily, or soccer, as you would call it. It's more kind of NFL, but yeah, fair enough. Lisandro, like we already touched on, Copa America. Just on the Copa, should he start for Argentina, do you think? Because they usually play Romero and
he shouldn't. Just rest him.
Drop him. Drop him from the squad. Drop him from the squad. He's not available.
Don't even take him.
Yeah, he's not available for selection. It's not happening.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'd absolutely accept that. Harry Maguire, a starter, Sam, for England?
He starts. He starts because with John Stones.
But I mean, in your opinion, should he, based off his performances this season, because there was a lot of question beforehand, wasn't there, that not entirely sure. Based off this year,
I think he deserves to go based off this year. I think he's played well for us at times in the role that he's been asked to do. I think had Southgate been any other manager where he's trying to play a slightly more progressive style with a high line, he probably wouldn't get in.
Yeah.
But with Southgate,
playing the high line probably would have gone with someone like Tomori. But with the way it's set up, Maguire's probably playing.
I think Tomori deserves a shout. I think it's criminal that we've overlooked him so many times. I think he's a very good centre back.
He's been top 3 central defenders every single year in this area.
I agree with you last year, but this season I wouldn't agree as much personally. I don't think he's been as good, but I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Defence is our weakest part of England, isn't it? We don't have a lot of options there. Sure. Some because of injuries, others because of just pure quality and stuff like that. But yeah, Maguire starts. It's just how it's going to be.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's the weakest part, but at the same time, still got some top fucking players in there, like Kyle Walker, Stones. Maguire's been good. Shaw, if he's available.
But say Shaw injured. Reece James, when he's not injured, is a fantastic player.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
So you could have had 2 phenomenal fullbacks there and just not available. It sucks.
Victor Lindelof, is he the captain?
I think so.
He's he's the captain of Sweden.
So obviously I hope he has a good tournament because he's not played a lot of football recently, but he's just got back fit now. Johnny Evans, does he still play for Northern?
He's going for Northern Ireland. Yeah, he's going. He's been called up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that is crazy.
Player of the season
Fair play to it. He's had a fucking good. He's probably their best player, isn't he?
He's never going to retire. That guy, is he? He's just never going to stop. Just keep going.
Big shout.
Give him a new contract.
Big shout, honestly, big shout. No, because I know we joke about it and stuff, but when that signing first got announced, the amount of shit he got, and Johnny Evans on the ones you know exactly what I'm on about, like Johnny Evans, are you joking? And what the job he's done for us this season, honestly, you can't look past it, man. He's been incredible for us. For a 35-year-old who didn't have a fucking club.
Is that we expect him to play maybe 5 games, 6 games or something?
He's made 29 appearances for us this season.
It's insane.
29 appearances.
Madness.
It's mad. Luke Shaw, touch and go. What was your thoughts on that situation, Sam? Because obviously not available. There was a lot of people pushing the narrative of oh well, he's available for Euros. Could he have played for England? All these setbacks, etc.
I think he's always preferred his country over his club. I think he's that type of guy. His profile photo on his social media is him in an England shirt, and it has been. And I think he got a lot, especially under the Mourinho years, he got a lot of shit from not us personally, but United fans as a group gave him a lot of shit because of his performances and stuff like that. But I think he has since then parts has proved himself when he is fit. He's one of the best left backs in the world. Like, he got in the Euros Team of the Year, didn't he? People call him Roberto Carlos and stuff. So
scored in the final.
So I think when fit, he's an absolute essential asset to the team. But can he get fit and can he be reliable? Especially for United as well. It's like we're pushing him to get fit for England. He goes to play for England, aggravates something or makes something worse, and goes back to United. So, it's difficult, man.
I think you echo them thoughts on Shaw, just so we can move past that. Shreyas. Moving on to the midfield, Casemiro dropped for Copa America, was the captain of Brazil, which is pretty significant and a pretty shit couple of months, but probably the right decision. I think I was listening to something before. Apparently, Brazil want to go in a more kind of youthful direction, so I understand that. I'm sure we all do as United fans. McTominay is for Scotland.
He left in a boot though, didn't he, from Wembley?
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
May be a doubt for the Euros, which would not help Scotland. He's their top scorer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, he's their star, man.
Yeah,
he's mega for him. So no McTominay potentially. Amrabat again, African, Moroccan, should I say? So I won't be going. Mount. Now the reason why I mentioned Mason Mount, I know he won't, but if Luke Shaw's going to go, and they're coming back at a similar. I mean, Mount was in the squad yesterday, so he's fitter than what Luke Shaw is. And Southgate, I know for a fact Southgate loves
it.
Mason Mount.
He loves Mount.
He's one of the integral cogs in a team. Does he have any chance whatsoever? What percentage of a chance, or do you think it's definitely done now? Because it's a provisional squad, don't forget.
He could go because Southgate has made a lot of erratic calls, throughout his tenure. Like, even when players have not been fit, even when players have not been, performing to the, in the best of their abilities, he's still taken them to tournaments like the World Cup, tournament like the Euros. I think he took Connor Cody to the World Cup as well, and dropped Tomori when he was having one of his best seasons ever in an AC Milan shirt. So, and Mount has always been, one of his go-to guys in midfield. So he might actually pick him. He might end up going for Mount.
Yeah.
He could.
Sam?
He could get in, say we have like a couple of injury crises before the tournament. Say we lose like a Gallagher or someone like that, like a couple of players like that. Mason Mount is technically fit now. Southgate could be like, look, would you come be on the bench and be ready to start, like, and stuff like that. So it could happen, like it could. But based on if everybody's fit, I just don't think he gets in.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bruno Fernandes is an obvious one, although I'd probably prefer him not to go.
Oh, please don't go. Bruno, Bruno, can you like break your toe or something? So you're out for like 4 weeks. You missed the tournament, but you're fine for like just something like that.
He'll play with a broken toe.
Oh,
he would.
No doubt. Christian Eriksen still play a part with Denmark, right?
He'll go.
He's going as well.
Yeah, for sure. Anthony, with the wingers Brazil have, not a fucking. I don't think he'll be.
Oh, he starts over Rodrigo.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior on the bench. It's Richarlison and Anthony. You just be like, what are they doing?
Not a prayer, mate. Alejandro Garnacho is in the Copa America squad. I think I saw that. So he's going to feature for them. Hoyland, in my opinion, should start for Denmark.
He'll go. He'll start. He'll start.
Yeah, him and Poulsen, I think Denmark play with currently at the minute. Ahmad, obviously, from Ivory Coast, so won't be going to the Euros. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have a little Ahmad cam this summer, but
he didn't.
Not to be.
He didn't go in the African.
No, he didn't go AFCON. He didn't go AFCON.
No, I don't think so. No. And then the last one, lads, which is the biggest, most controversial one, Marcus Rashford. Should he go? Despite you've got the argument with Grealish. I'm saying. Anthony Gordon, right? Let's just have it out. Let's lay it out on the table. Yeah, Anthony Gordon, better season than him, should go.
Yes.
Better stats than him. Eze, better season, better stats. No doubt about that. But Jack Grealish hasn't had a good season.
No.
And you look at the different types of players that they are. Which one would you need more in a game coming off the bench?
You would need Rashford, but right now, as things are, I would actually want him not to go, even if the opportunity comes his way, because I think he really needs some time off the spotlight. He needs some time off. I think it will be better if he gets this, this entire time till next season kicks in, to just refocus, to just, focus on himself, get some time off, because he's had a lot of things to deal with as well. Off the pitch, on the pitch, things haven't really worked out his way, but off the pitch as well, Rashford has had a lot to deal with this season. So I think as much time as he gets off the spotlight is better for him right now.
Is there a young winger that we could take, just even if he doesn't play, just to sort of get some experience and be around the squad? Like, is there somebody out there? Because that's what I would do personally. Like, I wouldn't take Grealish either, and I'd bring somebody who's up and coming, like a Kobbie Mainoo type, and I'd take him and just see. Maybe they don't even play. Maybe they only get on for like 5 minutes in the end, but they're around these type of players, these top like Bellingham and Kane and stuff like that, and they can. That's what I would do personally. But yeah, I don't think Grealish or Rashford deserve to go based on form. I don't think either of them deserve.
Both of them don't.
Yeah, it just depends what the manager wants, in it, in terms of, because none of them are going to start if they go anyway. I mean, Rashford was on the bench last time, but still ended up, I think it was like joint top goal scorer in the group stage or something.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I wouldn't write Rashford off just yet. I think he may still end up going personally, but we'll see what happens. Because again, like I said, it's a provisional squad, so it's not definitely decided. Rajat says Mount needs to be healthy, not get injured too much. So yeah, he could probably do with a month off as well. Bruno's going to go to the Portugal team. Lucky Singh saying please. There's your comments. I'll read them out. Scottish nearly our top scorer. Never mind Scotland. Yeah, Scottish. Sorry, yeah, Scottish are nearly our top scorer. It's a good point. Yeah, 10 goals. Didn't he? He was on a bit of a mad streak, in fairness to him. So that's one of the reasons why I would genuinely probably keep him as a squad player, because you got that option off the bench. If he could bring 10 goals a season as a squad player, why not? As a squad player, not starting, I'm saying. Bring him off the bench, man. I wouldn't,
just depends on that's the whole point. Who actually ends up leaving this season for us?
Yeah, you can't sell everyone.
Yeah, because I do get that Ineos want to raise funds, and I do see a lot of players leaving. I just don't know who they'll end up going for. Maybe McTominay stayed, maybe McTominay doesn't stay. I think Greenwood will definitely go. I think Sancho will definitely go. But barring those two, where do the funds come from?
Yeah, you have to look at the sellable assets, don't you? And
exactly.
Sellable assets means players that would fetch a value, but also their wages are not going to provide a problem to the buying club. And those players are Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. Like that's your sellable assets, isn't it? Really, because no one's buying Rashford because his wages are insane.
McTominay was being valued at around 30 million last season. Now
he's gone up.
Goals for us.
I'd say he's gone up. So Harry Maguire, good season. Harry Maguire's had a good season, so you could 45 million. So that's 80 to 90 million there. So you've almost doubled your transfer budget with 2 sales there, from 100 to 200 million. So you have to look at sellable assets, and people are like, oh, get rid of Rashford. To who? Who the fuck's paying? Nobody's buying him
now.
Nobody's buying him.
325,000 per week.
It's not happening. It's just, so you have to accept that certain players are just going to be here next season. Like, it's just, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. Again, fascinating summer ahead. So make sure you turn on the notification bell so you do not miss. Because when a transfer hits, we're going to be live. When news hits about Ineos, we're going to be live. Whatever it is, we will be here and we will be discussing it. So turn on that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, smash a like on the video. We put a poll up at the start of the show in relation to will Ineos keep or sack Erik ten Hag. 78% of you think we'll keep him, and 22% think we'll sack him. So the good majority there for Ten Hag, and I would probably say the good majority at the moment would want to stick with him from what I've seen online and stuff.
Are they voting because they want to keep him, or are they voting because they genuinely think Ineos will keep him?
Well, that's the question, isn't
it? You know what I mean?
I think there'd be a bit of both in there. Because after the final, no one's thinking about the Palace game at the moment, are they? Let's be honest. They're thinking about
no one's thinking about Bournemouth.
Yeah.
No one's thinking
just
about
beat City,
the
best team in the world, who have lost 3 times this season.
You're only as good as your last game, aren't you? And his last game was pretty fucking good. So
yeah. Exactly. Right, we shall leave it at that. I hope everyone's had a wonderful weekend. It is bank holiday, so go and enjoy yourselves as well. If you have if you don't have any content to watch, check out the pros and cons I did earlier on today at 12 o'clock. Really good show. I had loads of these in the chat. And check out my, Sam and Chivi's reaction last night as well. Very emotional, very dramatic, but also very comedic as well. So please check that out. And then for the members who are in the chat, all you Real Red Ultra people, I'm talking to you guys. We'll have a members video dropping in the next 2 days, which you'll get early access to. So thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate every single one of you. And if you want to become a member, click the join button next to the notification bell. And me, Sam, and Shreyas will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everyone. See you in a bit.